A husband and a father is supposed to be the protector of his family, not the danger inside his household. And honestly, this particular heartbreaking case shows the complete opposite of what it says from a biblical fatherhood perspective. So I do want to take a look at this, but first, do me a quick favor by hitting that like button and sharing this with your family and friends so that we can be a blessing to each other. Let's get into it.
Now on the west side of the state, the Ottawa County Sheriff confirms tonight that the deaths of a family of 8 are being investigated as a murder-suicide.
The husband suspected of killing his wife and 6 children, ranging in age from 5 to 15. Erica Erickson is here with us now. And Erica, this has left the community in total shock.
Oh, my goodness. Take a look at this family. Kimberly and Damon, so many in disbelief. Amanda, known as Mandy Karolkevich, and her 6 children all killed. Her husband, Christopher, is accused of shooting all of them before then turning the gun on himself. Her family says they simply cannot even express their devastation.
We treasured every moment we had with her and her 6 children, and words cannot adequately express our devastation. That's from the parents of 39-year-old Amanda Karolkevich, known to many as Mandy, the wife of 47-year-old Christopher, and mother to 6, ranging from just 5 to 15 years old, 2 of their children adopted. The suspicious fire at their home on Riverside Trail in Grand Haven Township now being called a murder-suicide. Friday morning, calls coming in about smoke, but
they were unable to locate an actual house fire. Looked around the area and couldn't track it to a specific house.
A couple hours later, first responders trying to put out the fire, but finding the entire family dead. Investigators now say Chris shot and killed his wife and children before turning the gun on himself. Several fires found throughout the home. Police say intentionally set after the killings. Family pets also dying from fire and smoke.
I feel sick. I feel terrible. I feel that this should never happen to anybody.
Mandy's parents telling Local 4 that Mandy was, quote, a kind and devoted soul who loved her family and her students. Mandy, an author and active on social media, sharing family photos and videos of her travels like this one.
Okay, the girls and I are in Shanghai.
Also a teacher at Grand Haven Public Schools. The school saying earlier this year that Mandy, quote, goes above and beyond, responding with empathy, patience, and care, and pours her heart into her work. Mandy's parents saying, quote, we pray for God's peace and comfort as we grieve their deaths and honor their lives.
Man, this is absolutely devastating. Like a wife and 6 children just gone in an instant. An entire family destroyed. You have a community that's devastated trying to process this entire situation, like why it happened. And it's almost impossible to understand. And I covered a story, something similar to this that happened. I think that was down in Shreveport, Louisiana, on my channel. And honestly, I called it demonic then. In this right here, even though we don't know and authorities are still investigating, but for a father to take out his entire family, that's straight up demonic. That is evil and demonic. And as a Christian father, I am always going to call that out, because as a father and as a man of the household, we're supposed to be the protectors. The husband and a father who's supposed to be the safest person in the home, right under God, is the one that honestly does the most unimaginable destruction. And that is the complete opposite of what biblical fatherhood is calling us to do and supposed to represent. When a couple walks down that aisle and they say their vows and they say till death do us part, that vow means I am committing myself to this covenant for the rest of my life, the rest of your life. So it means faithfulness, endurance, sacrifice, and commitment. It does not mean that your spouse's life and your children's life just belongs to you and you can do whatever you want to do, especially something like this. It doesn't mean that if the marriage falls apart or something going on in your life that you just, take it all with you moving forward. That's not what death do us part actually means. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. Biblical husbandhood says, I am willing to absorb the cost for the good of my family. Distorted leadership of your family means my family belongs to me. And if something angers me, I'm frustrated, or something goes on in my life, listen, all y'all coming with me. And that's not biblical. Those are two completely separate things. Jesus did not give his authority to the husband and to the man of the household to crush his family and to crush his wife. He gave his authority under the protection of God to protect, to save, and to sacrifice, not only for her, but for his family, and to make sure that they are in the upbringing of God's care. So biblical leadership is not about being the loudest person in the house or being upset to the point that you just want to do something that's probably the most egregious thing that you can do. No, it's not about that. A husband's strength should make his family feel safe, not smaller and not in fear to the point that their life is no longer going to be here anymore.
This is an unspeakable tragedy that we may never completely understand why it happened, but we'll do our best to find the answers and to honor the memory of those victims. I'll then go a little bit into the updated information here, and then from there I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office is investigating the suspicious deaths of a family in Grand Haven Township. The investigation began on the morning of July 24th, 2026, when deputies were assisting the Grand Haven Township Fire Department on a house fire call. At approximately 11:42 a.m., sheriff's deputies and fire personnel went to this area in the 14900 block of Riverside Trail in Grand Haven Township after receiving a call for smoke showing from a residence in the area. Fire personnel began working to suppress the fire and entered the residence to check for victims, and at that time numerous decedents were found inside the home, and sheriff's detectives began an investigation at that time. On-scene investigation showed that at least some of the decedents had gunshot wounds, and the initial number of decedents found inside was 8. 2 of them were adults and 6 of them were children. Since that time, Sheriff's Office detectives and investigators have continued to investigate, and forensic autopsies have been completed at Corwell Health Blodgett Hospital. The decedents have been positively identified at this point, and the cause and manner of death has been established. The deceased adults are Christopher Karalkowitz, age 47 of Grand Haven, and Amanda Karalkowitz, age 39 of Grand Haven. The couple were married. The 6 deceased Karalkowitz children's name will not be released at this time. These include males ages 15, 12, 11, and 5, and females age 11 and 11. 4 of the children were biological children, and 2 were adopted. After the post-mortem autopsies, it was determined that the cause of death for all the subjects involved in this was ruled gunshot wounds, and the manner of death for Amanda and the 6 children was ruled homicide. The manner of death for Christopher has been ruled suicide.
Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. And it says, "Fathers, don't stir up anger in your children, but bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord." Fatherhood is more than just having children, than paying the bills, or even just, being called the head of the household. Fatherhood is stewardship according to the Bible, because God has entrusted fathers with the lives that are vulnerable, very impressionable, and honestly dependent on you. They're depending on you for everything. So your children should learn something about God's patience by watching how you interact and how you are patient. Your children should learn about God through you being the head of the household. This does not mean that you do something egregious like this by, utilizing your family's vulnerabilities, your family, how they look at you as the father, and literally just say, "I don't know what happened, and the investigation is still ongoing." But you as the father and the husband, and your children looking at you as the protector, you now become the aggressor. You now become the person that brings ultimate destruction to your household. And that right there is very saddening, especially for somebody who is a father, who is a protector of his household. And it's saddening to see situations like this happen, because to me, it's truly demonic that you would want to take out, your family, that you would want to take out your family in this particular type of way, no matter whatever they find in the investigation, no matter what the true motive is. At the end of the day, a family is lost because the husband and the father, who's supposed to be the protector, that God has blessed you with this particular family, they're no longer here. So my thoughts and prayers go out to the relatives and the friends and the family who are affected by this, especially in that community. And honestly, I hope that this is a wake-up call for those who are in, biblical Christian marriages, that when you take those vows at the altar and you say till death do us part, this is not what death do us part means. And as a father and as a husband, we're supposed to be the protectors of the household, not the one that brings ultimate destruction to our household. This particular type of action is honestly truly evil and demonic in my eyes. But let me know what you all think in the comment section down below, respectfully. What do you think biblical protection looks like in the life of a father and a husband? And honestly, let's just share our prayers and our thoughts to this particular family in the comment section down below. My name is Rod Brown, and I truly appreciate you all for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please do me a quick favor by hitting that like button. Subscribe if you enjoy more faith-based content, and please share this with your family and friends so that we can be a blessing to each other. Until the next time, be blessed.